Danny DeVito has always been proof that legends don't need to be tall to stand above the rest. At just 410, he became one of the biggest stars Hollywood ever saw. From Taxi to Batman Returns, from Matilda to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny has made millions laugh with his wit, timing, and larger-than-life life energy. But behind the laughs is a story far more heartbreaking than most people realize. At 80 years old, the truth about what Danny DeVito has endured will break your heart. Danny's story began in pain. Born in New Jersey in 1944, his childhood was filled with rejection and fear. His mother admitted years later that she never wanted him, and his father's drinking turned nights at home into chaos. By the time Danny was 10, police had already been called to their home more than a dozen times. As a boy, he hid in closets to escape the yelling, learning survival instead of innocence. To make things harder, he was born with Fairbanks disease, a condition that stopped his growth and left him small in a world that judged him for it. At school, he was teased. At home, he felt invisible. And even when success finally came, Danny admitted he always carried the feeling that he didn't belong. But Danny refused to give up. He scraped through his teenage years, saved money, and begged his parents to send him to boarding school just to escape home. It may have saved his life. In his 20s, he chased acting, even when directors laughed at him and told him he'd never make it. He slept in his car, worked odd jobs, and lived on almost nothing. Yet, in 1975, his persistence paid off. His small role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest opened doors, and just 3 years later he roared onto TV screens as Louis De Palma in Taxi. America fell in love with the loud, sharp, unforgettable character. Suddenly, Danny was everywhere, winning awards, starring in films, and even directing. But fame didn't erase the pain. Behind the camera, Danny carried the scars of childhood, the daily aches of Fairbanks disease, and the loneliness of a man who still sometimes felt unwanted. His marriage to actress Rhea Perlman seemed like a fairy tale. 30 years of love, 3 children, and a partnership that charmed Hollywood. But in 2012, it collapsed. Danny was devastated. They never officially divorced, and they remained close for their family. But friends say the separation left him hollow, reopening old wounds of rejection he thought he had buried. And now at 80, life has only grown harder. Fairbanks disease has become cruel with age. The pain in his joints is relentless, often so bad he struggles to walk in the mornings. He refuses heavy medication, afraid it will dull his sharpness, so he endures the pain silently. Publicly, he's still the same Danny, cracking jokes on talk shows, stealing scenes as Frank Reynolds on It's Always Sunny. But privately, he leans on walls to steady himself, and friends say the laughter often fades into silence when the dust cameras stop rolling. Danny DeVito may be worth millions with a career that reshaped Hollywood, but money cannot buy back time. It cannot heal the loneliness of a home once filled with love, but now quieter than ever. And it cannot erase the scars of a boy who grew up unwanted, only to spend a lifetime proving he mattered. Still, Danny refuses to stop. As long as I can stand, he once said, I can act. At 80, he continues to push forward, proving USA that greatness isn't measured by height, fame, or wealth. It's measured by endurance. And Danny DeVito has endured more than most of us could imagine. So when you see him today, remember behind the laughter is a man who carried pain his whole life, but never let it break him. And that is why even at 80, Danny DeVito will always be a giant.